the hero pool for our Rome. If Cho is not an option, you saw that they did ban. They went ahead and banned. Oh my God, it's out of my mind now. The fish girl.
Kadita?
Kalea.
Oh, fish girl.
They banned out Kalea to set up. Oh my God, my brain is gone. They banned out Kalea to set up the Harley pickup, because that would have been something that would have immediately been able to use the Tsunami Slam to snatch him up and bring him back to the team. And we didn't have any answers like that. Cho could have worked, but I don't feel like we have a Cho player in Yomel right now. So. And that could be an issue when it comes to what can counter, when it comes to some of these like outlandish picks that kind of come out there. So like I said, it's very interesting. I don't think they're out of it just yet. I still feel like we can get a victory out of Stamina Esports if they can just kind of brush that off, focus on, I don't think we're going to see the same thing. I don't think we're going to see all of Dez's heroes banned out. If we do, it's time for the rest of the team to step up. Honestly, it's like we cannot all just be on the shaky legs of Dez and hoping that he's going to get the pop off. It's going to need to come out to the rest of the team. We're going to need to get coordinated, especially when it comes around to these objectives.
And then you two with that Harley pick ban right away. They know that Harley is dangerous, and definitely, I would say, of this meta, the MVP hero. I'm assuming, because a lot of team that gets the pick Harley has been doing amazing and usually win that, even with Bernoulli, our fourth game.
Yeah.
Harley.
Our fourth game clutch pick, Bernoulli. He's always the fourth game Harley to get the clutch win for Leon. Well, that's the second series of the day. For now, U2 Esports, I think you're gonna take out the Freya, the Jushin, right? If you are on the red side, unless, like Private said, like finding a way for them to be able to deal with the Jushin or probably even the Marcel. So here, U2 Esports, what can they go with? How are they looking to focus down on this draft? Julio was a pick that they didn't want to give to Dez in the previous game. Are they okay to let it go since they're on the red side right now? Jushin's off. If you're Stamina Esports, I think Marcel or Herod is a good ban.
I swear to protect it till my last breath.
We also have Sora out there that can come up for the XP lane. Ooh. So we do have a Sora, possibly a Valentina that could come out as a first pick to offset the Sora pickup by Stamina Esports. We're gonna wait with what they go. Still do have Carry as an option, prioed by Stamina. Depends on where we want to go with the beginning of our draft, which we've learned it's pretty important when it comes to kind of like we don't want to call a bluff out there and throw out Glue like he's going to be something flexible if we know we're only going to be able to put him into the roam. Oh, but we go ahead and dig in deep. We say we're just going to go with Marcel, and this has been. I don't know if anybody's watched when I've been watching and doing these watch parties for these matches. When it comes to North America right now, Marcel sitting at a very humble 0%. And I feel like he's not a roam that you can just throw into a composition. He's not like a setting potential where you can get a Grok or you can get a Minotaur out there and they all just effectively do the same thing. You have to be very careful about what picks, what can go into it, who's going to be able to shine out of that golden hour. And are you picking a team that's not going to just be frozen anyway, that you're going to be on the backhand, backhanding your team with that golden hour as well. So it's going to be very careful here. And I'm very interested to see how Stamina Esports plays this.
I agree. I think with this Marcel being picked up, you want to be able to play the map a little bit more. I think so at this point. Good examples of Marcel's would of course be coming out from, for example, from Team Liquid and MPL Philippines. JP plays a fantastic Marcel, able to control the map. Not just JP, you can also see a lot of the other roams like Light played really well too from Aurora, but then again, no one's been able to replicate it into MCT. I like the fact that they go with the Valentina, the carry, it looks solid. But then again, U2 Esports looking to play a clean front to back, and Fredrin's going to be that big body that's trying to block for the rest of the team here. Claude is a great option for U2 Esports if they want to go for it. They can also go for... Never mind.
So one thing I was kind of wondering, they obviously took the Valentina because they didn't want to have that. Well, they didn't want to have the counter out there, but you'd already picked the mage on the side of U2. I might have preferred something like, we've been seeing a resurgence of the Terizla. Ever since his revamp too, he no longer takes any mana. Not only that, but Terizla does surprisingly fantastic against a Fredrin. Not just that, you have Marcel with the Golden Hour that can really set up a lot of those penalty zones that could come out of Terizla. So I'm wondering if maybe they're going to go with something like that. Like I said, I really look for something when I see a Marcel pick. I want to see other picks that kind of carry into that. How is Valentina, how is Carrie going to be able to blend into this Golden Hour to really dish out that damage to the team? Right now, we're in the second part of the banning phase. Still a big focus being played on to Dez here when it comes to these ban picks.
So going into what you said earlier, U2 really keeping their options open, right? So, you know, yes, Claude is definitely a hot pick, but they're trying to pick something that they can, you know, do with now, and then later on they have another better pick for potentially match point.
Or death.
Not just that, I think Moskov is such a it's a good pick because it denies the assassin coming on the other side, right? Usually if you're for Dez, you want to go for the assassins, outplay the marksman in the gold lane. So the Moskov prevents that, adds the extra bit of macro plays that's possible in this game for U2 Esports. Alice and Leomord being taken off the table. Khalid, I think Kalea is another solid choice you want to take off if you're Stamina Esports. Hilda is a great option just to make sure there's no more early pressure along with this Fredrin and Zetian. So if you are U2 Esports, you want something in the early game, maybe a Hylos in this case, just to make sure you're allowing the Fredrin to go in, slow down the rest of the opposition, and Marcel really can't do anything against the Hylos to such. But a Phoveus is... It's good, but depends on what's coming out from Stamina Esports, right? Because you pick up the Phoveus, you're still giving the Infernal Pursuit to the Valentina in this case. So Stamina Esports need to round it off. If you are Dez, I'm looking at what Suyo is the great option. Apart from the Suyo, I'm looking at the Joy, but Joy's not going to do really well against the Fredrin. Yu Zhong is super solid. It fares perfectly well against the front to back that U2 Esports want to play. I think Suyo, there's not really other options.
Yeah, and for me, I'm looking at this composition and I'm like, I see a big propensity for Marcel to freeze you just as well as the other team. Oh my God, one of my heart picks, one of my favorite roams, Matilda out there. I haven't seen her in a very long time when it comes to a lot of these. I don't recall. I know I haven't seen her in the South. I'm not sure we've seen her in the North here. Second time. So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of comes out here. It's going to give them a lot of closing ability.
Yeah, talking about a really exciting game coming up. It's you know, U2 going with the heroes that we don't see often, so kind of giving these heroes a time to shine. But one thing I'm concerned about with Stamina, let's talk about that. The Marcel's ult, it's got a very big area, so my concern would be is the carry able to dish out the damage from a safety distance, or is she gonna get caught up in all that?
I don't think the carry can even dish out the damage because it's a single target skill, not an AoE. So they're not really gonna be able to do a lot with this golden hour.
Yeah, and then even Valentina too don't have that kind of range. So how are they going to utilize that, right? Private, I wanted to ask you, with the wins that came out of the South with the Marcel, what kind of team composition are they looking for? How are they supposed to play to actually make it a win?
Well, you want those people who have issues with their with playing out their abilities, or like I was talking about when it comes to like a flicker ult that comes out from Terizla. We've seen Chonge be used against her, where you use that meteor shower as soon as the golden hour comes down, and as soon as the golden hour is over, you just have a barrage of damage that comes out at you. The problem here is I feel like the golden hour can help you as much as hurt you in this composition. when you have heroes that just really don't benefit too well from it.
So coming back to that, heroes that does not match well. So from that kind of standpoint, we feel like Stamina has a kind of a team comp that's lacking to be working with the Marcel.
I don't want to say it's lacking because you still have disengage opportunities with Marcel that can very much benefit your team. The problem comes is just like where I've seen Marcel shine. And like I said, I just feel like he's one of those heroes that just cannot be in the middle for both of them. But I think we're about to get ready and back into the land of Dawn, Kronos.
Yeah, we are. We are going to the land of Dawn, of course. It's game number 2, and Stamina Esports better pull up because it's going to be match point if after this, U2 Esports get it in the bag. 1-0 in this best of 5. Stamina on the blue side, U2 on the red. They switch places, but then again, U2 have a little bit more of a solid draft. How will Stamina Esports turn around the 0% win rate of this Marcel in this game?
I mean, like I said, this isn't completely over. There's parts where Marcel can shine. There's parts where he doesn't. But here, as a disengagement tool, we might have something that continually gets us out of harm's way. Something that can stop a circling eagle or a guiding winds right in its tracks to be able to kind of take down the Matilda, who is notoriously, let's call her slippery when it comes to trying to latch onto her going in and on your teams. A little bit of engagement up at top, though.
Yeah, I think they're trying to, but you can see already Dez is being a problem on the Suyo as he should be. This is what he provides with the Marcel, right? Suyo plus Marcel making a great combination. Traction pulse coming to the bot side, though Pika UXP might be taking out first blood coming in. Yomel flickers for it too.
Yeah, what a nice kill there for Stamina Esports. I'm glad to see we start having ourselves some momentum here, a change of the last game. 3 members there able to bait out those abilities and a successful use from Ricky on that Marcel gets the stun onto him, onto the freeze, and then the backup coming in the form of Yomel on that Valentina to finish off.
Yeah, and looking at the emblems as well. The Moskov in cave running a master assassin, so he wants to get these 1v1 plays. He wants to be able to isolate someone in these team fights when he's trying to go for those split pushes. Turtle is up, and with the help of the guiding wind, Ziggy's able to make fast rotations. But these jungles, that's going to be the target.
Oh, Ricky, look, you can see him already deep into 3 members of U2 Esports. So he's really kind of trying to make the most out of this Marcel pickup. So we're going to see if maybe he's found something new. Goes in, finds a stun.
Yeah, they go to the Black Dragon as well at the right time. Petrified of 3 members. They're able to get 1, 2, 3 down and out for the side of U2 Esports. And double kill in the hands of Dez. Not only do they get that turtle, they are trying to invade. Sykes does walk away the purple.
And I'm not sure that I saw a, golden hour coming out. And another stun comes out. Does it hit Sykes? It does not. But Dez able to go in and get out as well.
This is the second time he got the lava golem. So basically, just trying to slow down this Fredrin as much as possible. He's level 6 to his 4, who just hit 5. I think if you're Stamina Esports, you're looking at maintaining the pace of the game. This is what you do as the Marcel. You play the map, be in the face of the opposition, and allow the macro to be in your favor. And 2.5k ahead of Stamina Esports, they've got to maximize this right now.
Yeah, which is interesting. Interesting when it comes to this type of a draft. You take up the Fredrin and you allow Dez to have the Suyo, who is notoriously already a fast jungler. Even side by side, no other team members. Fredrin's gonna have a trouble keeping up with a Suyo when it comes to getting that farm in. Now you're talking about Stamina Esports inside their jungle. Ooh, Stamina, a little bit of a fight down here. Yep, a little bit of fun. Yeah, they're just missing wide, but might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think Dez trying to go in, but at the same time, you can see U2 Esports trying to get control of the river. They kind of they need to stick together at this point and try and stop Ricky from going in, but Ricky having a complete contrast in terms of games as it is in game number 1. Now going in, invade onto U2 Esports purple buff. A lot of damage being dished down onto Dez. Has to make it out of harm's way. So Retribution not coming out, but they're still able to secure this purple buff. Zultra is taken down low. Essentially a reverse of what happened in game number 1 between both these roamers.
Well, this is the exact same Ricky. Aggressive, in their face, trying to get that offense onto U2 Esports. The only difference is there's not a Cho there kicking him back into the team, and then a Farza absolutely blowing him up. So he's allowed to kind of get into there. There's nothing that U2 Esports can do. They're not able to burst him down. He's got that stun that's going to be able to enable him to find a little bit of an escape. And he's being a lot more aggressive and getting a lot more of that value out of the Marcel. I do want to say though, Zultra, especially when it comes to Matilda, does take a little bit of items before she starts to come online. So we might start seeing a shift as we get to that 6 to that 7 and 8 minute mark.
Yeah, and I think that's what U2 Esports are waiting for as well. They don't want to give away too much of a lead to Stamina Esports. So biding their time and making sure they get to that power spike around the 8th minute. Ricky, on the other hand, for Stamina Esports, needs to be as aggressive as possible. And for the credit of U2 Esports, it's almost 6 minutes into the game. They haven't lost a single tower, and they're able to absorb all the pressure that's coming in. But now the pressure looks to be on the top side. Ricky needs to go in and at least open up the map so that they are able to get this tier 1. Lil Rosa hacking away, but you can see the Fear of the Phoenix comes out as well. They're still able to get the clear on the top side. So a lot of time being wasted by Stamina Esports.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. You have 3 people up there ready, and nobody really kind of pulled the trigger on going under. And you should have read the situation there, especially with 2 members underneath there. You've only got 3 to try to get this gank. That was not going to come out successful. No. Maybe try to transfer somewhere else and see if you can get the pull. Oh, a double stun coming out there from Ricky. Like we said, so aggressive on this pickup. He's getting the value out of it right now. 4-0, but kills don't win games. Macro does, and Stamina Esports need to start finding a way to transition some of these fights, transition some of these kills into objectives before we get to that mid game, before we start transitioning, we get those items on the side of U2 Esports.
Yeah, and I think now's the time, right? This is the third turtle of the game. If you're Stamina Esports, you want to pull the trigger. And in this fight, you know for a fact your heroes are completely online right now. You even bait out a flicker from the Phobias. So it's now or never. Everyone's kind of soften up for the blow. And Stamina Esports needs to find a way to make this happen. U2 Esports, on the other hand, I think not contesting this turtle could be a great idea. But Pika UXP caught out now. Here comes the Fear of the Phoenix. And Dez is handed a kill on a silver platter, which is only going to extend the goal lead of Stamina Esports.
5-0 right now. Now they're going to have some pressure at least coming in from the bottom as well. So we do have some macro coming up. I feel like it needs to be a little bit faster coming from Stamina Esports before you get to a point where U2's able to answer back. Black Dragon is out.
Yeah, they're trying to stop Inke from going back. Golden Hour as well to put him in place. SOD missing. Not able to make it, but he's still tight. Almost getting a kill. But Ricky burning the flicker, and so did Lil Rosa on the bot side. They get 1 kill back. They get a tower, but equally traded back 1 tower. The only thing that Stamina Esports have on their hands is that kill, and now they're able to take away the tier 1 in the mid lane. So this is more beneficial. Des trying to get a kill, and Zultra backing out. U2 Esports, oh, they're absorbing a lot of pressure.
I mean, they're doing great. Ricky, this is what we wanted to see from him when it comes to actually being on a Marcel, using the pick, getting the value, getting some of those stuns out there, slowing down the enemies so that the rest of your team can kind of come in there, and the team is doing a great job. This is oh, Ricky, just stop. Okay, I thought he just stopped in the middle of the jungle. I thought maybe he had a little bit of a disconnect there, but the rest of the team, they're doing a great job. There's 3 up at the top, even 2 at the bottom. Once that SOD comes out, you could see that little Rosa saw it coming. He's able to get out of the way so that Inky didn't have an escape route. So just a great job coming up there. As we take a look at these items, you can already see that little Rosa 1K ahead, already has that Demon Hunter sword, as well as they got his second items out there, and we're working on the 3rd one as well.
Dez was 2.2k ahead, man. He got 3 items on the board. That Sky Piercer, I think he's got 2 kills in his pocket already. Fear of the Phoenix coming out just to find everyone on the map. And if you're U2 Esports, the only one thing I will say is that we haven't seen Pika UXP in these fights, right? The moment the Phoveus is present in these 5v5 fights, it's gonna be difficult for Stamina Esports to take it because he's gonna be such a pain with that Dark Wave, with that Infernal Pursuit. Right now you can see Ricky as well making sure they catch Zultra with the traction pulse, or rather with the tracking shot. Now 5k on this Lord, they're able to secure it. Black Dragon to make sure they zone everyone out. SOD almost able to get that one. But U2 Esports yet to open a kill on the board. 6.5k gold into the Stamina and the Stamina Esports. Lord marching down the bot side. Everything is going well. Stamina Esports look like a well-oiled machine.
The problem for me with some of those win conditions, Pika UXP, we're at the 10-minute mark. Phoveus has a very limited window where he can be useful, start getting some of those demonic forces onto the back line. And I mean, I think we're kind of edging past that point as Stamina Esports go ahead and lock down on the top, and U2 Esports unable to even contest it.
Oh no. Nice use of the taunt as well coming up from Sykes, but Zultra taking a lot of damage. It gets melted down or even flickered out of there. Oh, this is not looking good if you're U2 Esports. The Lord is still coming crashing in. They get the tier 2 in the mid lane. Holy Shield's gonna get popped in the mid first, then the top side. The Lord is being delayed so well by Stamina Esports, and seems like they might as well just get maximum benefit out of the Lord. Zultra gets his hand on the Enchanted Talisman, but finally U2 Esports are able to breathe for a second.
I want to say something where we're going to save it for the end because I'm not going to curse this team just yet. I'm very excited to see fight as Stamina Esports. You were talking about it. They don't usually get their victories after having a lost Black Dragon into the back line.
Yeah. He goes in, you can see the Dark Wave coming out as well. Nice taunt on some 3 members for you. The Phoenix, but a lot of damage. Sykes gets taken out. Pika UXP going to the back line, gets petrified. A golden hour to Cat Ziggy as well as Inkay in place, but a lot of damage being dished out. Inkay could not make it out of the fight. Only Ziggy and Zultra left standing, and with a concealed blade coming in from Stamina Esports, they're looking to break this curse. They're looking to break 2 curses in one go. They've got the cannon mini on the bot side, a mid wave crashing in, and another wave to come down. Zultra and Ziggy trying to they're collapsing down on top of them, and finally Stamina Esports get the victory and make it 1-1.
Not just a 1-1, an 11-0 victory here, a dominating performance. Not only that, but I believe this is the North's first win with Marcel.
A lot happened, you're right. First, for a lot of things. First, as in we're breaking that curse for Stamina, right? We're not gonna go for a sweep, finally. And yes, a Marcel gameplay, a Marcel win, finally. How we doing, Kronos? How you feeling about this?
Yeah, I'm happy. This is the kind of Marcel game that I wanted to see. So see how in the early game he was zoning out the opposition. And yes, you don't have a lot of AoE skills to kind of help out the Marcel and maximize what this golden hour can do. But they played it really well in terms of the macro side of things, right? Using the golden hour as a zoning tool, using the Marcel himself as a zoning tool, so you allow the rest of the opposition to, the rest of your team to breathe. And that's what they did. And not just that, I think Stamina Esports looked a lot more aggressive, looked a lot more comfortable on these picks. And I don't know, was game number 1 just a way for them to kind of shake off that nervousness, shake off that bit of hiccups that they might have had in the game? Felt like it, because 11-0 is a dominating game.
I feel like this was a line to stars for the side of Stamina Esports too. Dez is absolutely something different when it comes to being on the Suyo pick already. It matches the skill and the I want to say his wall for how good he can be mechanically on a hero. Suyo just really melds well with people who have that high ceiling for their fingers, those quick fingers. Also, I mean, we're talking about Ricky and Yomel. Finally, they came to party here. Ricky, with everything that was punishing him in that last game, executing that same type of play style here on the Marcel, he was almost unstoppable, diving into U2's lines as well.
And you could take a look as well at the highlights of the entire game. Stamina Esports on the front foot from the get-go. And that flicker for Yomel underneath the tower. This is the kind of aggression we wanted to see from Stamina Esports, right?
Yeah, and then you can see there Ricky diving into the back line immediately to get those stuns right as soon as they were able to get the turtle, which goes ahead and gives Stamina Esports the time that they needed to be able to kind of rush that line. And he was doing that very, very well within a lot of these objectives. You see here another freeze on the two members, and then immediately they go ahead and latch on to Inky.
And let's look at the MVP, who it goes to. I feel like it should be Marcel.
Right? I think it is.
Yay! Let's go! Okay, finally we have a win for Marcel, and we also have the MVP for Marcel. So Ricky definitely know what he's doing with a Marcel hero here.
Hey man, from taking a beating in game number 1 to be the MVP in game number 2, he pulled up all right. And not just that, 2 different play styles we got to see with the heroes he picked up, and clearly he's better when he's playing these aggressive heroes. He's better when he's trying to take over map control rather than give it away, which is Glue. He does try and take map control, but at the same time, he's a little bit more of a passive hero, unlike the Marcel. So yes, I think in the next game, we're probably going to see the Hildas and the Khaleeds being taken out.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to whether or not they can go ahead and counter some of those. I feel like Glue at most of the points has the exact same type of play style. Here we're going to see, I think, another golden hour that traps 2 members. Yeah, coming out from the side of U2 Esports. Boom, 2 of them get frozen immediately. A great put on there for Stamina Esports. And I want to say for Ricky, this has to be uplifting, especially